All right, welcome to the WolfShadePodcast. This is episode 75 of the WolfShade Podcast. I'm just bringing you another episode of this doubleheader. What's today? Tuesday. And I'm bringing two of the most awesome people into the episode today. And I'm just interviewing them for a good duo episode. I have first person that brought this to my attention, whom I was going to have on the podcast before, but I've interviewed her twice. This is our third go around, Miss Marlene Sharp.
Hello. Hi, Anthony. Thanks for the repeat invitation.
No problem. And the other guest that I have on was someone that I've been reading about for quite some time now. Love his work and everything, reading about him because Miss Marlene introduced me to him, Mr. Vadim Govorov. Did I pronounce that right?
Hey, you won't believe the names I've been called.
No, when I first saw your name, I was like, I'm gonna pronounce this so wrong. But above all, it's good to know I kind of at least got that close. But how are you two doing though today?
Very good. Tired, sunburned, but I'm all right. Finally, I'm in a hotel. I'm in I don't know where I am. I'm in a hotel by the airport somewhere.
Yeah. In Miami.
In Miami, yeah. Planes on one side, ships on the other side, and I hear a train somewhere in the distance. I'm in like a heart of everything. If I have to get out of town, I'll be out in 5 minutes. No matter what.
That's awesome. But just to kind of I guess top things now. You kind of mentioned to me, Marlene, that you've been working with Vadim. What is it that you've both been working on for the last few years since we talked?
That is a good question. So we met, Vadim and I. Okay, well, here's a fun fact. Vadim and I have never met in person. We've only ever Zoomed and emailed, but we met through a mutual friend in the toy business.
Okay.
So both Vadim and I have backgrounds, very deep backgrounds in the toy business. So my background, as you know, Anthony, is merchandise-driven entertainment. So nerd brands like Sonic the Hedgehog that are designed to sell stuff to kids through cartoons and video games, or the video games are part of the sales. And Vadim is an actual toy maker. So Vadim is a sculptor of clay, and he makes clay figures for aesthetic beauty and to look at, but also to collect and to play with. And so we had a mutual friend in the toy business who thought that our backgrounds would be complementary and that maybe we could collaborate on some things. And he introduced us. And so I wrote an article about Vadim for Global Toy News, which is a toy industry publication. And it was the publication that our mutual friend started. So he published the interview, and then Vadim and I became friends. And Vadim, do you want to pick up the story from there?
Yes, and I saved the lake from fire.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right. Yada, yada, yada. Vadim saved us from the fires. Yes, he did. And he could tell you about that. He's a magical being as well.
Yes. Richard, introduced me to when, unfortunately, Richard, he's no longer with us. But before he passed away, he said, like, here's Marlene. She's gonna help you. She knows what she's doing. You're gonna deal with her instead of me. So I said, okay. And since then, it's been great. We've been doing a lot of stuff, meeting a lot of people, and I'm sending my resume everywhere and all that, and my figurines. People like it. So I'm trying to work. What I'm trying to do is try to create a character called kind of like a little superhero, not like some kind of wielding a thunder hammer or like a opening light, but somebody who can, kind of like I would say Spider-Man or Batman. He's a regular guy, but in the end,
I'm gonna go get one right now while you're talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so he's like, kind of guy like who goes in a phone booth, changes. But my character, he just put on a wetsuit once in a rainy day, went to work, never took it off, and now he's dying. he's doing things in the water, helping.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Little puppy in trouble, or somebody stole it in the water, or something else, so he's in there. So I got a first book, like 70 pages, like a graphic novel, kind of like
Okay. That's awesome.
And trying to introduce it, trying to to the world. So that's the story. Marlene
So
Brooks.
Vadim has the most interesting job in the world, and he is a diver, commercial diver, but he doesn't just dive. When he goes under the water, he does stuff like construction or salvage or search and rescue. If it involves going underwater, pretty much Vadim can do it. And so then he creates toys and graphic novels that are related to his adventures as a diver. So his alter ego is called Rubber Ninja because it's a scuba diver, essentially, or underwater diver. I guess there are other kinds of divers besides scuba, but anyway, he's a diver, and he's a bit heroic. He's a bit anti-heroic, and so Vadim, very early on, when I met him, I was working on, sadly, an ill-fated project. It didn't come to fruition, but it was based on Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and an updated version of the books. And so Vadim made this sculpture, and it's very detailed. And that's the back. Whoops, I'm trying to make it so that you can see all the different aspects of it. But this is an original. And then also Vadim sent me some extra figures so for a while he mass produced figures and sold them. So this is one of the mass produced ones, right, Vadim?
Yes.
So he would make the original sculpts out of clay and wire frames underneath, and then he would send his designs to China, and then he would have them mass produced. You can see lots of detail, though. This company that he worked with was really, really good at replicating.
I had to go there and bring this big bottle of whiskey. Because then people in China, I'm telling you, that story is like deserves like a special chapter. The place he took me, like China. I've been to China many times. First time I've been there, it was like in late 80s, and where the only cars on the roads were like an ambulance and a taxi in a Fiat, So when you get in there, Europeans, knees covering the ears, you can't, it's just so tight. And the last time I went there, when I went looking for China for the factory, that was maybe 5 years ago, and dramatically. I didn't recognize it. I tell you, Chinese, they live better than us. I don't care what they say on TV. Those people, they live better. So I found this factory. I had a list. So I had a list from Alibaba, whatever it is, So I'm looking. So I called everybody. I went everywhere. I figure I have to go there. If sending something breaks, something lost, you can't find the end. So I figure I'll go there. Why not? I got a 10-year visa in China. Went there and went to every factory I had on the list, and they were giving me prices that really, you can't deal with that shit. You can't even sell it, And then one phone number. I look at this phone number. I'm calling it. And some guy is selling something, like, I don't understand, and I keep telling you, and he's telling me the same thing. So I ran out of money. I went to the bank. There was a Shanghai bank or something. I went and exchanged $200, and that's an event. They want to know maiden name of your grandma, where you get this money from, So it's like an hour deal, $200. So I'm sitting there, and they're very polite. What can I do for you? Can you do this? The tea, water? And I'm sitting and looking at the guy. You know what? While you're here, just call this number, talk to him in Chinese. I'm looking for this person. So he calls, he talks for a while. He said, yeah, they opened. There's the guy looking for is not there. There's another person, another name. That's all there is. He just said, I didn't know what it is. So I go outside. I hailed a cab. I give him the address. I said, take me there. The guy says no. I'm like, what the hell? It never happened. I went all over China in cab. The guys look at the address, says, no, I'm not going to go. So I'm pissed off, and I open the door, walking out, and I'm standing like this, that Like, what if, what if that's where I have to be, So I gave the guy money, so up ahead at an advance, take me there. So okay, so he did, and now I understand why. So the 6-lane highway turned to 4 to 2, and then a dirt road. We're going on a dirt road in some industrial part of the China where buildings have no windows and a laundry hanging and everything. And he pulls me to some kind of a huge gray building with gates. Here it is. Open the door. As soon as I step out, the guy took off. He's drunk. Took a dust, like what? I'm standing there at the open door. The guy comes out, greets me. I come in. I'm in a factory. I'm actually in the factory, not with dealers or some brokers or something. I can smell it. He takes me to the floor, up to the people. I see them working, doing things. I see the production. I'm like, wow. And I said, listen, make me 500 of these. And he's like, oh, we don't do 500. We do 5,000, The people from Hong Kong, from all over the place are like, holy, I just need a sample, They said, oh, I don't know. So I said, all right, okay, so let's go for lunch. So we go for lunch. I bring out a bottle of whiskey, always carry with me. After that, no problem. Whatever you want. You want a 5-piece? I'll make you 5. 10? No problem, 10. I said, just make me one of each before I leave. I had 7 days left. He makes it. He brings it out in I think he made it in 5 days. And he brings it out. I'm looking at the table. He puts them out. I'm looking at it. And I can't tell the difference, which was mine, which one is
wow.
Other than by weight. So this guy with Marlene holding is weight a little bit more than made from my clay. It's like a modeling compound German.
Yeah, this is pretty heavy. And I don't know if you can see it has a nail at the top.
Yeah, they found I forgot about nail. They found nails the same size. They stuck the nail actually. I'm telling you, these guys are good.
Yeah, it's a real nail, so you got to be careful with it. But Vadim, what is the story of the packaging? Because this is one of the figures in the package.
Yeah, this is my friend who found Spanish gold off the coast of the Florida 20 years ago. A really good friend. He became a millionaire overnight. Dedicated the statue for him. So made it a little scuba diver looking for treasure, found a coin. Yeah, that's what happened. And I designed everything, and the box, actually they made a mistake. They made a misspell on the back, something, but I would expect from Chinese. Found. You see the word found?
Oh, yeah.
It's spelled, but it's not really noticeable. And I already was too late. I had 500 figurines, 7 boxes in my, I can't send it back to redo it, so.
Yeah.
So that was for the guy who actually found Spanish gold, and that's that's why I'm in Florida. That's I retired and came to Florida, and created by the professional diver from there. Yeah, nice, yeah.
Okay.
So, Vadim, did the Chinese company make the boxes also?
Oh yeah, they make everything.
They made everything. Okay.
Yeah, they made me boxers. They made me stickers. They made me, you name it. I had things from them. But after COVID, I think a lot of factories shut down, and I don't know. I can't find the contact anymore. This guy I was dealing with called David. I don't know where he is. I was in touch with him for a year maybe, but then he disappeared. But things are tougher now in China. So he said that's the last message from him. He said no good. So he said don't come back yet. He said you let me know. So, but I have a few figurines left. I sold most of it, but some left. It's just hard. I'm not a good businessman, so it's just hard for me to sell stuff. That's why Marlene helping me.
Yeah, I get that. So since you obviously had a long career in sculpting and stuff like that, just sculpting, welding, and all this other stuff too, I would say, what kind of inspired you to pursue a career in sculpting?
Sculpting. I was a kid. I was a boy. I was in a kindergarten. I think it was 6 years old. I think, and the administration, they brought artwork from all the children, and we had an art gallery in a building with a kindergarten. They put it there, and they took us there. We're looking at it. There's pictures, there are drawings, there are a woodwork, paperwork, all kinds of stuff. But one thing fascinated me. I was it was a display, kind of like a fish tank thing, cube, glass cube, and inside it was a little diorama made I think they call it a piece in the forest or something. So every animal that lives in the forest, they're all peacefully sitting on a meadow, like a porcupine with apple, a rabbit on a stump, wolf, bear, fox, crow, everybody there, a little tree. And I was standing, and it's 3-dimensional. You can see from one side and everything, and it's colorful. I was like, wow. And I was looking at it, and then every day, I think from 1 to 2 or from 1 to 3, we had a siesta. Children sleep, So they put us in the bedrooms. I couldn't sleep, So I crawl out of the bed, went out of the room, and then the nun, the teacher was sitting. She was like this. So I crawl like under, below, so she wouldn't see me. And there was a big, like a marble staircase. So I just sit on a railing, silently went down, went to the gallery. There was nobody there. I was all alone. I broke into the case, opened the door, took an apple from the porcupine, and took the nose of the fox. Just pinched it off. I didn't know what it was, so I just wanted to touch it, but it was the Play-Doh clay, so I just damaged it. So I figured I'll take it. So I took it in my bed, playing with a little piece of clay. Then I hide it under the bed when I would get up, and then went on like for 3-4 days. So finally, they realized somebody's vandalizing they're looking for the culprit. Somebody's ripping, because I took the tail of the wolf. I took ear of the bear. I took crow. I took crow completely. I ripped it off. So I had a ball size of a ball, maybe tennis ball, not tennis, maybe a golf ball size of clay. And I was, and I had a long hair. At the time I was a kid. I had long hair, and I think those sleepless, those afternoons caught up with me. I fell asleep. I usually hide it under the bed. It's a metal frame bed. I hide a piece of clay, and then nobody knows. And one next thing I remember, waking up, getting up, and everybody looking at me. Oh my God, look at that's him. It turned out to be that piece of clay, right? I fell asleep and it fused into my hair. So I get up and I feel something in my hair, that piece of clay right in my hair. And for everybody to see, like, holy moly, everybody like screaming, yelling. They grabbed me, took me down to the principal's office. The scissors come out, some other stuff. I'm like, no, call my lawyer. Because my mother used to take me to her own hairdresser. That haircut cost money. I said, no. So they called my mom. She used to work in a military hospital not far. She comes in, and I'm expecting an ass whooping. I'm thinking she's gonna, She comes in, comes out half an hour, takes my hand. We go home. It takes like every minute I expected, silent, not a word, So we go home to the house where there's like a pedestrian, kind of like an island where I live, like a pedestrian walkway, and right there is like a big like an Office Depot store, and they had a section for arts, like a little clay, paints, and brushes and stuff. And she goes there, she takes me there, so pick your colors. Rodin, she called me Rodin. The biggest box of that Play-Doh clay, like a 24 colors. I took them, and after that, she never have to worry where I am. I was in my room doing things, like clay. Every book I read in my father's library, I recreated. Like Captain Nemo was actually the first one I read, and I made those figurines and everything in certain TV, and that's how it started. And then later on, I discovered this clay that you can bake it like a professional. You can put it in the oven, make it hard as a rock. That people they realize, you can, do something with it. So I was making figurines for like ethnic, some like a cultural center. When the tourists come in and they have little souvenirs, like you go to Mexico, you have a little mariachi band, little figurines. I made that, so it was my first paid job, that I had money for and I liked it. And ever since I had a little studio. I don't have much room. I have like a 4x4 table. I set up and I take it everywhere with me where I go. But that's how I started making figurines. Anything special orders and everything I seen and everything interests me. And that's how when I came to the United States. I was doing that for a while too, maybe for 5 years. I was doing art shows, craft shows. That was pretty good. People were impressed. Nobody seen anything like it. So after that, after like maybe like several years, people telling you, dude, this is original. You should do something with it. We never seen anything like it. I'm like, well, like they're saying, if two people tell you you're a camel, go and spit, So I figured if they're saying something good, I got to do something about it. But how? You have to know somebody, you have to find the ends. And that was my odyssey ever since, So trying to do something with it.
Vadim, tell Anthony and the audience where you grew up. Where did you come from before you were in the United States?
Kiev. I grew up in Kiev, Ukraine. Yeah, well, before it was one big Russia, but now it's a separate country. But Kiev, Ukraine, that's where I grew up. I went to school and I went to army from there, and then I left. I wanted to see the world.
Yeah, that makes sense because you want to see the world to kind of just influence yourself more of your career and trying to better yourself for your craft. I get that. And
Yeah.
you told me that several years ago, Miss Marlene. I didn't forget that.
Uh, yes, I was liberated from New Orleans. That's where I came from. And I broke out and landed in Los Angeles.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I just had it. So when you kind of just look at your career, and I think I asked you this at the last minute, Marlene, too. You can answer this as well. I think it was so long. Mr. Vadim, how do you reflect your early pieces compared to your current work? And I think we had a segment on that too, Miss Marlene, as
Maybe.
well. Kind of like using previous things from your past early start of your career, kind of just comparing that to your current work, kind of just I would say boost it up a little bit. But how do you reflect on that, Mr. Vadim?
It just it having it because so it's become so much better. It's practice. If you make it like almost every day, you work on it and you perfecting it. It just this figurine, that diver upside down, it was to me it was unimaginable even to make it like 20, 30 years ago, I want to
Mm-hmm.
know how. Now I can make the guy standing on one finger, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a figurine like that. I have a snowboarder.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. That's a
he's
really
on a
cool one.
he's on the thing and stay like literally on one finger holding onto this snowboard. Yeah, I become I'm if I can say so myself, I like myself my work. That's very very different from what I found some pictures on a paper, because there was no cell phones then. But if I've come across some old photographs, I'm looking at it, holy moly, is it me? I made this, embarrassing,
Yeah.
compared to this, but yeah, it's
And
progress.
he draws too. And look at this cool Christmas card that I got.
Yeah, little rubber ninja.
See?
Hey, a
So
little piece of gold from Bering Sea. See that?
I know it's got a real piece of gold on it.
Yeah.
Okay, he wants to fall down, and he's trying to upstage Santa here. But this is Rubber Ninja. Rubber Ninja is the embellishment on this card that has Santa and palm trees and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
that is a real piece of gold from the Bering Sea. That Vadim, you must have gone diving for that.
Yeah, I've dove like my personal best was 18 hours straight in the water. I got it.
That is
Yeah.
insanity.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let me put him
Got
like
this
that.
gold.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see it.
So
And
Vadim does all
that's piece
sorts
of
of art.
gold, like this nugget. There are a bunch of them in there. Like I have this, it's ore. It's original ore. That's how it came from the glacier, came down to the Norman. That's where
Mm-hmm.
original gold rush was. But then it's dried out and then it went into the ocean. So now they have technology to dig it in the ocean, not the ocean, Bering Sea. But oh my God, it's a challenge. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, that must be so hard to bring it up from because it's so heavy, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there is a way to do it, but the process so laborious. It's and the weather elements and everything. It just I don't know if you heard Murphy law, right? You know Murphy law, right? So he was born probably in Norman there because it just you fix one thing, another breaks. You fix things, another breaks. So we just had a rule. One is nothing, two is one. If you're buying something, buy two because something will
Oh.
break, and it's like a law. It will break. That place
Mhm.
its ability to destroy everything, and the people who live there, who owns the hardware shops and all that, they're richer than any gold miner in there because they mine gold miners. That's what they call it. Everything is
They
so
mine the
expensive.
gold.
Yeah, and you need it. There is no way you can't go next town. There is no roads. You can only get there by plane or by boat. That's it. Once a month. So
Do a lot of people go there for treasure hunting? Is
oh
it
yeah.
it's a big
Every scumbag of the world in there. Everyone. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
so it must be pretty competitive to find anything if it's
People
been
get
mined so
killed.
much.
People get killed for that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I
Then
was
why
I
did
was
you
I
do
was
it, Vadim?
I was on a streak on a golf 18 hours, right? I didn't even feel it. It was freezing, freezing water. It's very cold. Bering Sea is very cold. But when you see this gold, you know, like I don't know. When I was a kid, I thought gold rush was a physical illness. I thought it's like that, you know. Until I saw myself, and you just fall. You can't stop. You just, you know, tomorrow it's not gonna be there, you know, or you're not gonna find it. So you just,
Yeah.
yeah. And sure enough, next day somebody bought that lot, you know, because they saw us digging in it for a whole day, and they bought it. And we came there next day, and they just with shotguns, and they said, off.
With guns. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hardcore.
My last day there, my last day, another kid was diving, and I was on the radio with him, and he's talking. Oh, look at this! Oh, I found the watch. Oh, I found. Look at it! I found the watch. And oh, look at the sweater. And it's a hand. Found it, that guy in the water. You know. Yeah, right by the yeah. So they call the Coast Guard and all that. Pull him out. Yeah, bullets everywhere. So yeah, it's a rough place. You know, there's no laws in there. There's only 2 cops in there, and they're only busy picking up drunk Eskimos.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it. You know, the rest is just up to you. So yeah, it's a school of life, you know. But it was good. It was a good adventure. I liked it. I'm glad I went, you know, because what if, you know, you never know if, you know, you can get rich. You can, you know, I didn't get rich, but I got, like, you know, I got this nugget to show, to prove, you know.
Yeah. And you got some little
And I got yeah, we
little
got
nuggets to make Christmas cards. I've never had one with a gold doodad on it like this. So that's a treasure right there in itself.
Yeah, that's how it comes. On every piece of gold is like none of them alike. They're all different, like fingerprints, you know.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. When it comes to you know, just being an artist and having you know, meaning behind your work and everything, how do you kind of balance abstract and realistic elements into your work?
I just I've been doing this diving for, I don't know, 25 years probably, and I've been in every ocean, many countries. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I try to introduce it to my stories, you know, little by little. You know, it's not like the Brahma Ninja is it's realistic, but with some fantasies, you know, but nothing that is just impossible, you know, kind of like flying into space or like shooting somebody with the like a laser eyes. The guy, a normal guy, but he's just able to do things that other people cannot do, you know, and he knows everything about water, how to survive in there, even without air, you know. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So this is the manuscript right here for the graphic novel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a rough draft. Yeah, it's like a little.
And that's Rubber Ninja right there. And so Vadim, before Vadim was in Florida, he was in New York City. So he was a diver in Manhattan. And so these elements on the cover here reflect a lot of the encounters that he had in New York City, including the search and rescue or salvage and recovery of the Miracle on the Hudson, the airplane that Sully Sullenberger.
I actually see it happen. We were working that day, and we were like, "What the hell's going on? You know, something's wrong." And he just splat right in the water. But
and then how much longer was it before you had to go down there and try to?
Oh yeah, there's it's been I would say after the plane went down, I would say it was 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Before we got out and start looking for the engine, we salvaged the engine first, because it was the most expensive part. Yeah, so we salvaged the engines, and then another company, they did the rest. You know, but yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks.
That's dangerous. Somebody's got to go down there to clean it up for you guys, I guess. But somebody's got to really take the risk after it happens.
Yeah.
That's part of the job. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some more. I'm just going to show some highlights here. The different.
The spider, yeah. Because see, so Anthony, I have a severe case of arachnophobia, right? Ever since I was a kid.
Same.
Yeah, they don't mix, you know. And it's just bugging me, you know, because like, what the hell, you know, a little critter would put me in a panic mode. But so I decided to overcome my challenges in this book. So somehow, and we have it happen sometimes. A little spider was hiding from the rain, crawling to my helmet, and I didn't. And I'm in the water, and it comes up now.
You can see it.
I'm screaming. I'm like yelling, "What the hell?" You know. The guy said, "Eat him." I said, "Eat him." Yeah. So, but and I learned to live with a little spider, yeah, in a helmet, and he
Yeah,
becomes
the little spider is a recurring character throughout
yeah, he's with me all the time. He
the
sees me all,
story. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He's like a
here's a
little yeah, he's like a little stowaway in a Captain's Nemo submarine. And it's my helmet, for him.
Hmm.
So he sits there and watches everything I do. He sees fishes, he sees all kinds of stuff, things he never saw before, and he kind of learns. Kind of in my story, he learns to he helps because he knows the spider knows the animal language, because they somehow, I don't know, in my head they communicate differently, right? It's like a mental or like a telepathical level.
oh,
So he helps me when I encounter something, like I'm unfamiliar, unexpected. He kind of works as an interpreter and helps me. And
Hmm.
like Jiminy Cricket
yeah,
for Pinocchio. He's
very good.
your Jiminy Cricket.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah, like your
yeah,
conscience.
exactly. Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
another cool. This is another cool image from the book.
yeah, that's my dream. That's when I sleep, I dream about my past jobs I did. And the turtle, see the turtle over there. That's the in the next book. I rescue the turtle from Disney Aquarium because they catch them and they keep him there. And I came there to work because I actually worked in a Disney like what the last month, like a month ago, right? With
Yeah, he was diving at Disney World in Florida because I didn't know this, but Disney has a whole aquatic center where they do research and rescue and breeding, I suppose. So there was some work that needed to be done on the
yeah,
homes for the animals.
the place called Living Seas, and they have every
Hmm.
creature in there. But there's a huge, humongous pool, aquarium with but then on the side they have a little like a nursery, little shallow pools where you have to treat the animal. You have to. So it is the elevated floor. It comes up just enough to keep them like moist in the water, and for people can work. Like
Okay.
up to the waist in the water. So that's the transition between those two pools have to be gated. This would be a gate, like a kind of like a guillotine style, and that's what we were doing for the so keep them separate. And I saw turtles in there, and it reminded me because I really met the turtle in the Gulf of Mexico. It was really for 3 days. She was coming around. I was working. She was poking at me, looking like what the hell, a lost soul. And I thought of an idea that I working in a Disney, I recognized the turtle that they caught her to put her in there and entertaining people. So I decided to make a jailbreak. Along with the turtle, I emptied the whole aquarium. I got everybody out.
In
Everybody
your
out.
dreams,
Even the
as
shrimp.
opposed
Even the
to
shrimp.
reality. Kind of sounds like the sequel to Finding Nemo.
Yeah, finding a
There was
turtle.
a there was a
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
an element of freeing the performing animals in
Oh
that
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
sequel.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like it there. I can tell. They don't like it.
Disney's a tough employer. So,
I
but
can
I like
tell.
this is a photo of Vadim and all of his fancy gear. But there's also kind of a vintage element to it. This almost looks like this guy.
Yeah, that's the old style. This is old.
Yeah.
Not using it anymore. This is old style suit and helmet and gear. But this is new style. Yeah, like this is new technologies. So
Okay. Like,
It's yeah, but it has kind of a vintage flair to it. I don't know. It looks maybe it's the colors or something.
show
yeah, most definitely the colors.
Yeah, it looks.
Show Anthony Rubber Ninja, a real Rubber Ninja, like when you can't even see me when I'm on a gear.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
It was funny. That's
Oh
where
yeah, this is the real.
yeah, that's where idea came from. When they saw this picture, I said, "Do you like a ninja?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a Rubber Ninja." You know.
Yep, in the flesh and in the rubber. There you
that's
go.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I just thought of that. So when it comes to, just having a lot of experience and, obviously diving, sculpting, everything that you've done so far in your career, what do you think was the most rewarding part? I mean, experience in your career so far?
Most reward every time you finish the job successfully and you get it done in time and get paid. That's
Mm-hmm.
because every job is everything's every time you go out there. Tomorrow we're working in the port right now. We did something today. Tomorrow is going to be another challenge. It's going to be something else. So you always have to like overcome something. You have to do something. You have to think how to get it done. Yeah, almost every day. But the most I would say um, the most was interesting. It was a salvage. There was a salvage. There was a collision between the barge and a tugboat, and people died, and the
Mm.
crew died. Yeah, they sunk. They never made it. It was so quick, and they put us to work. They told us to 12-hour, 24-hour, like 12-hour shifts to rotate to salvage, bring it up. And
Mm-hmm.
the most difficult part was that all there was a river, like a C&D canal in Maryland, I think, right? C&D canal. And
Yeah.
there was somebody's house, and the backyard was like a grass, and it was like right at the river. So all the relatives, all the people that died, they were sitting in there all day long, every day, watching us trying to pull up the people out of the water.
Mm.
And you go there, and they're just sitting there waiting. It's like some kind of a macabre, like a theater. You see a row of chairs like across the river. It's
Mm-hmm.
far, but you see people sitting and waiting for you to get to pull out these guys. But we decided not to. It's too heartbreaking. You don't want to bring up the body, drag him all. So we decided to raise the whole ship, the whole tugboat. We raised the whole tugboat with crew in it, so they would treat him more, they take him in and take him properly, so because
Yeah.
pulling out that body out of water, it's not a pleasant scene. It's just, yeah, it's no good, and especially for relatives to see. So we decided, we talked about myself divers. We said we're gonna pull up the whole boat and tow it, and then let people deal with that. But
Yeah.
so we did that. That was really people. They wrote us letters. They gave us like oh, they were really grateful. So that was good. Yeah. But a lot of
Okay.
work. I worked in the Gulf of Mexico. We did platforms. We did in Indian Ocean, in West Africa. A lot of work. Mostly oil fields, gas, oil, but some we did like really like for people. Like there's a tragedy happens, or somebody lost something, or something else. They're really grateful because they have no idea how to do stuff underwater. So, but we know how. We know how to get things done. So.
Yeah, I get that. In the part of your career, are there any unique techniques that you develop over time? Being a
Yeah,
sculptor and
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Sculptures, yeah, sculptures. Like I said, I improved. I'm using different materials now. I'm using uh, auxiliary things. Not just clay, combining together. I've learned well. I can do just about anything. But I like this scale. I don't like big sculptures. My mother, she said, after she realized I can do this, you go to sculpting school. So I went there for one day. I sat there, and they make us make like a little clay pigeons when you blow in the ears and makes noise. I was like, no, I ain't gonna do that. So I went home and I started making my own things. Yeah, and but yeah, that's improved. But in my career too, diving, since I left Los Angeles, because I lived in LA too. I went to school in there, and I worked in there too for a while. But then I left, went around the world, and I came back totally different man. And now we hired for now. I retired. I don't want to work anymore.
Hmm.
I left New York, came to Florida to retire, and my friend, my dive partner for a long time, he found a job. I guess he was bored. I don't know what the hell. He got involved with some people, and they were building. They didn't know there was a bridge that was destroyed by Ian. That's a big hurricane that hit the West Coast, right? Yeah, and it was a private railroad, Kalusahachi Seminole Gulf Railway, and there was a bridge over the Kalusahachi Inlet. Was demolished, destroyed, and nobody knew how to build it. Because most of the in Florida, they were scuba divers. They they clean boats, they collect golf balls, but nobody knows actually how to build things underwater, or restore it.
Hmm.
So he signed up for it, but he asked me to help. So all right, he's my friend, I'll help. And ever since we started, we're in another company now. Engineering has the biggest engineering company in the world right now, Underwater Engineering Services Incorporated. They hired us as a consultants. Right now
Hmm.
at work, I'm a consultant, but I don't do anything. I just say, you don't do this, do that. That's not right. That's good. That's my job. Yeah, once in a while I splash because I like to be in the water, but it's fun. Why not? I like my job. I really like my job. Yeah, I like
Okay.
being in the water. Yeah, and
Hmm.
good
And it gives
people.
you more stories to write about too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like when you
Stories
did the
like
Disney job, the
yeah,
whole Disney job was a great inspiration for
yeah.
your
Disney
part.
job was, oh my God, yeah, that was fun. I tell you, 1001 nights. That's me. That's stories. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That is so awesome. So, being an artist, obviously, everybody's going to be dealing with like challenges. What do you think was the biggest challenge you ever dealt with as an artist? Like probably in the beginning or in between your career, was there any big challenges that you had to face?
Well, it still is a challenge trying to make people love my that's character I created. But first challenge was to find somebody who actually would like appreciate it and buy things from me.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I had a bunch of collectors actually, but it's hard. The challenge is when people demand things, when they're asking you, and you have to physically sit down and make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's overwhelmed. Like, well, this wants this one that, and you date. Oh, they ask somebody's birthday, you have to make a gift for somebody's birthday, or you have to make like order for somebody else, and it's just too much. So that's why I decided to go to just kind of like deviate from everything else and just concentrate on like figurines that I know would sell. Like I have a fireman's, I have a policeman's, I have like MTs, I have those divers and stuff. Things that occupational. You can probably you put it online and people like, buy it as a gift, like a souvenirs as a gift. So I
Mm-hmm.
concentrate on that. So I don't make like big stuff collection. Military, I like military. I have a people who collect military figurines, cowboys, Indians. I have a big collector, Bobby Greenleaf, I think. He bought just about everything, and they don't ask for price, because my work they kind of expect pricey, but it's handle, I mean, yeah, it's my time. I sit down, I spend like hours making things, I can't just give away for, and it was really chat because people coming in, they're looking at it, like they love it. They see, oh my God, what is it? What is it? They think it's a toys from Toys R Us, right? They,
Mm-hmm.
they call my display a babysitter because parents can leave the children by my display and walk away and come back
Oh yeah.
looking like this, and they grab it, looking at, but look in the price, like, oh, it's expensive. I said, yeah, because I made it. I sit down and actually physically make this thing, look at this. There's my fingerprints on it. But then
It's a work of art. It's like
yeah,
a museum
yeah,
piece.
yeah, but yeah, it was really hard to convince people. But then, little by little, they know me already. They go to the show, they're looking for me. Oh yeah, after that they don't ask me for price. They don't ask how much. They say, I want this, and this. Wrap it up. So that was good. That was a little, but it was a challenging. Yeah, first time it was like really hard.
And you've
Yeah.
gotten some good commissions, right? Like
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah,
for big, like I know you said you don't do big sculptures, but you do the environments where the like
yeah.
that one with the building with the cat on top.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, some my friend of mine, he's asking to me for his parents or grandparents some kind of anniversary. They from Italy. He showed me a picture house in Italy and how they, and I just made him two couples sitting on a bench. The house, three-story house, cat on a roof,
Mm-hmm.
and pump, that Sicilian water pump, very distinct. I made that, and they were happy. Yeah, somebody asked me, some Kodak executive asked me to make him a Giants stadium. I made him a stadium with bleachers and a hot dog stand and Giants versus Jets playing game. And he was happy. Then another guy asked for medieval castle. I made him medieval castle with everything in it. Everything's going on. And somebody asked me to make figurines for for people from Johnson and Johnson Corporation. They asked me to make like a bunch of them for employees. Then another one asked me to make him for like the entire hockey team for a school. Yeah,
Oh.
that was interesting projects. Yeah, I like the challenge. When people telling me, "Can you do it?" I said, "Hell yeah!" I don't even know if I can do it. I go home, I sit down, I look at it, I get stalled per minute. Yeah, I can do it. So there's no limit.
And Faye
Yeah.
Dunaway's kitchen.
Oh yeah, fade out.
He made the yeah. That's a really great story for the act. Do you know Anthony? Do you know the actress Faye Dunaway?
I've heard of them, yes.
She is an iconic movie star who is famous for the movie Chinatown, and also Mommy Dearest.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde, I think she was in that too.
3
Yeah.
Days of Thunder.
Yes, right.
Ooh, yeah, 3 Days of Condor, Eyes of Laura Marks. Yeah, she's a very, very, very classy, very nice lady. Yeah, it was by accident, you know. I came there, I brought somebody, I give it a ride, and the girl, she's a interior decorator. She was designing kitchen for her, and I came in just accidentally. She went to have some cup of tea in the kitchen, and then she said, "Yeah." She's talking to her. What do you think? This and this. And I put my 5 cents in. Nobody asked me, but I'm like, "Hey, I would do this." Said, yeah. How would it look? I said, "Give me a week." You know. So I made a model of a kitchen from clay with tiles and everything. How would I imagine? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She called it, yeah, see this? Make it real, you know. And now she had the kitchen design around the clay, you know, just put it together. Yeah. So that's
crazy. And did she kept the model, or did you keep the model?
Yeah, she kept the model. I think, yeah, because I didn't need the model, you know. I just made it just, you know. Yeah, she kept the model, I think. Yeah, because I left it right on the table and I left and I
Oh my God. I want to see the model, and I want to see the real kitchen. Like I want to do a side by side comparison. So maybe if you remember her address, you could,
Yeah,
DM
no,
it to me,
because
and
what
I'll.
happened was I was driving the girl. It was my friend's girlfriend, and she was interior decorator, and he was busy with something else, and he asked me, "Could you give Laura a ride?" You know, to us. I didn't even know where. So yeah, I'll give her a ride. You know, and she said, "Go left, go right, go around there," and before I know, I'm in like a Beverly Hills. You know, so I didn't even. Yeah, I know it's somewhere in like, you know, past Rodeo Drive somewhere in there. I don't know, but I didn't know the address. I don't know. It was so long ago. It was like, I don't know. It was in 99, I think, 99, 2000, I think. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, to be honest. But since you make all these pieces, depending on the commission, how long does it usually take, like, for you to complete a piece?
It depends on details and size, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually, you know, sometimes it takes a couple days. Sometimes it comes out for the first time. Sometimes you're like, nah, I don't like it. And, you know, so
Okay.
yeah, but for the most part, like a single figurine like this diver or something, probably a couple hours. Then you have to bake it, of course, and spruce it up, and so yeah,
So
that's
you would have to bake
and you have
this.
to bake it. Yeah, you have to bake it in the oven. Yeah.
Just a regular oven in a kitchen?
Yeah, that's the good part about this. I found this material which is require only you can use a household oven, but you have to do a ventilation because it stinks. Yeah.
Oh.
So
So this one.
this will take like an hour probably in the oven to bake hard. Yeah.
Wow.
But if you
That's why you know kitchens so well, because you're in there baking, but you're baking clay.
And cooking, yeah. Kitchen is my domain, you know. I don't let anybody in my kitchen. I cook my own stuff.
Look how cute. There's a little map on here too. Yeah, very detailed. And the N for Nemo, the Nemo family.
And the slippers.
The slippers, right? The slippers right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very detailed.
Yeah, too bad it didn't work out.
I know. I was working on a Nemo movie. It would have been really great. We did an animation test and everything, but the company lost its financing and everything fell apart, which is what happens in the entertainment business. So it helps to have many projects in various stages, and you just keep your fingers crossed that something sees it to the finish line.
Yeah. Obviously, things happen, and some things don't see to fruition. That's why I've always, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that to me a couple years back too.
Yep, still happening.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioned that to me, and then think you mentioned to me it was like a Sonic thing that was about to come into fruition too, but it never came to. I think you mentioned that a couple years back.
Probably there's always a lot of Sonic stuff in development, and since it's such a big franchise and there's there's the game, the path of the game, so they have their own timetable, and the TV content has its own timetable, and then the movies, and then there are different forms of TV. For example, there was, I think when we were talking, there were at least 2 pipelines going. There was one for Sonic Prime, the animated series that was animated out of Wild Brain, a Canadian company, was working with Sega on that. Then there was the live action animated hybrid Knuckles series that streamed on Paramount Plus, and now those were two totally different teams and development paths, creatives. Everything was different. It was overseen by Sega, but to different degrees. So yeah, but I don't. I haven't worked directly with Sega in a number of years now, but I've worked with several vendors of Sega. So one of the animation vendors called Neko Productions, I was working with Neko last year, and there was a Sonic a YouTube series that was in development that didn't happen. But yeah, so there's always something going on. The things that actually make it to the air are just a small fraction of what's actually going on behind.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just need them to stop canceling everything, and we'll be good.
I know, and it's funny because there are people, a lot of YouTubers want to find this. They call it lost media, as if it's like stuff that's been forgotten, or it's just something that's lost to time. But all these companies track some better than others. They're in the vaults or in some kind of server or storage somewhere, but there are a variety of reasons why projects don't go forward. It could be financing, creative differences, or changing of the guard in terms of executives, or like a merger or acquisition of companies, and then or like lawsuits, contractual disputes, all kinds of things. And but the fans only see what's happening on the surface and make a lot of assumptions, like, oh, Sega's trying to kill Sonic, something like that. If there's one thing that doesn't work out, and then of course Sega takes most of the blame because it owns the intellectual property, but oftentimes there are a lot of different stakeholders behind the scenes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of licensees, like for example, the comic book company IDW. That's one. Probably, I'm guessing they have several hundred licensees now, not for comics, but I mean like for different kinds of toys and clothes and accessories, things like that. And those all influence the content and vice versa.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's confusing.
It's a lot. Yeah, there's so much more that there's what the public sees is like this little tip of the iceberg, and then there's this giant iceberg underneath, all the employees. And
I see it now. You think, like to get it done, holy moly, to have like a 5-second movie, like forget it.
Oh yeah, Vadim, when you did your stop motion, Vadim has a filmmaking partner that he works with to do some stop motion using his clay sculptures. And just to get a few seconds of stop motion, this is not even considering like putting it out there for people to see, like trying to get it distributed or put it in contest. This is just the production. Took a tremendous amount of time and effort.
Yeah, because stop motion is not easy.
Oh, so difficult.
I thought it was like, oh man, I can do it with my figurines. I do stop motion. Nope. Not that easy. Like holy moly! I said, Max, what's going on? How long is there? Just to keep moving it. Millimeter, little things like that. Like you destroy the figurine by the time. Every time you touch it.
Oh yeah.
Shape. You're like, oh my god! I had to make like three of the same characters so keep him, because every time you move it, something gets damaged.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's quite easy.
I
It
heard
wasn't easy.
I heard a podcast episode about the making of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Rankin Bass holiday special with the
Mm-hmm.
it looks like the puppets, and someone had one of the versions of Rudolph in their storage because they had been an employee of the studio Rankin and Bass, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a version of Rudolph that they put up for auction. So it sold for a lot of money, but then it turned out there were actually like, I don't know, so many versions of this character because, they got all beaten up being like twisted and posed and stuff like that. So the one that went up for auction was like one of maybe, I don't know, 15 different puppets that they made. And but it was in pretty good condition. You consider how much handling went into it.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Stop motion's fascinating, but very labor intensive.
And I've seen like you got those robotics, right? Those like Terminator, right? Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to because some of the parts of the film, it's not him, it's like a robot, like a robotic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been to the I think it was maybe Henry Alvarez in Los Angeles. He had a studio where he made those. He was making things for Hollywood, and he invited me. I came in and he showed me that's things that he has in there. Every celebrity, it's like a wax museum. Only those like animated puppets. You see a Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger actually is a short guy. He's very short. Like I mean, he was up to here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like a
he's that
life size,
short.
like a mannequin of him. He's a short guy, and like who's this midget? He said, that's a Schwarzenegger. He's a short guy. When you're looking like standing next to him,
Really?
like, wow, yeah. But he showed me how they made it like he works, like moving hands and eyes and all that. It was pretty cool. It's a Henry Alvarez, I think. Yeah, he has a studio.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know if he's still around, but it was like a long time ago.
I'll
Yeah,
have to look him up.
yeah, Henry Alvarez. Yeah, I remember.
Interesting. Wow. And Schwarzenegger looks like he'd be so large, I guess,
Yeah,
with all the
yeah.
muscles
The
and
way, the way they
stuff.
film, they filmed him, but in reality, so yeah, this is a life size. He's mannequin, like a statue, and looking at it, the guy's just really short.
Yeah, yeah. Every movie he's in, they always make him tall, but Lily, he's like Lily 6 foot. He ain't that. He's not that
Yeah,
tall.
he's not tall, no.
Huh. Well, that's a revelation.
Yeah, it's just depending on where they have the camera angles that make him look tall, like how the Terminator and everything. But above all, he's really not that tall.
Yeah,
Interesting. Well, fooled me.
yeah, Hollywood, right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hollywood made good stuff back in that time, the 80s and the early 90s and everything. So a lot of movies that came out around in between that time frame, like Terminator. I forgot the other movie he was in. I think he was Barbarian one time.
Oh,
Conan, I think.
Conan Barbarian. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was.
So Conan in the actual, I think it's a comic or folklore or whatever, but he's actually close to 7 foot, so he's actually really tall. This since Arnold, did him for I think a couple movies, if I believe. They had to have the camera point at a certain angle. That's why if you look at the movie and you see them have like, let's say the camera angle right at his side or where his midsection that thinking he's so tall when he's really not that tall. Like the cameraman literally have to get on either the ground or point the camera in a specific direction to make him look tall. But above all, he's not that really tall.
Ah, interesting. Do you think he's taller or the same size as Sylvester Stallone?
Sylvester's taller than him.
I think they more or less.
The same height?
Sylvester's not that tall too. He's not that tall.
Yeah, I've heard that he's not that tall. I've also heard that they have a big rivalry, the two of them.
Yeah,
It was for show.
It was for show?
Yeah, I heard about it, but then they just left about it. It's, we just like stir some shit up. Yeah, but also they have some shoes. They have platform shoes. Don't forget. They can wear platform shoes.
Yeah.
Higher.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a bunch of tricks.
Or rollerblades. I would wear rollerblades.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, they were both the same height.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that
Learn
explains that. A
learn
lot of
something
smoke and
new.
mirrors.
Learn something new every day. Yep.
Yes.
Sylvester was 5'10", and Arnold was. It doesn't explain his height here, but he was at least 5 foot something. I didn't think I would be taller than him, but you never know.
Congratulations.
but honestly, that's pretty much all the questions from me, though. I was enjoying listening to the nostalgia.
There's a lot of nostalgia, yes,
Yeah,
but still new adventures to come.
I'm looking forward to it. Any new stuff coming out, Mr. Vadim, or just keep the secretive at the time?
Always. Yeah, there will be a second. I'm working on a second book, on a second a continuation, because I want to bring it to a certain conclusion. Because this first two stories will take you where it will becomes like how I am become who I am.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Start from the childhood and
the origin story. All superheroes need one.
And all the adventures, and that could be a pretty good story too, because I want to make it as like a mystical mystery. The story is I don't know how much time we have, but I want to make it like because see, it's a little secret I have, right? When somebody told me, oh, you have to be careful, figurines, you're making this, somebody stole your idea, so don't worry about it, because I add my blood to it, right? I have a vial of my blood, and I add it to a color with want to make it for the skin, right? And for the so I add a little drop of blood, kind of my DNA in it, right? I've seen it as some kind of movie. I've seen a movie some like long time ago about Sinbad. The travels of Sinbad, and some like a evil wizard. He was creating a little creature, a little gargoyle, and he gave him some blood, and he came to life, and he flew away to harass the Odyssey and his crew. Like I remember that. I said, yeah, what if? They always think, even blood may become alive. Yeah, I was a child. So what the idea was like, I had a girlfriend, right? I had a girlfriend that was a kind of like a Romeo and Juliet story. Parents were against. There was almost like a really disaster. So in reality, right? So in my story, what I did is, because I think I noticed sometimes it's like a little mystical thing, but sometimes I make things, I make figurines, and after a while it comes true. What I make becomes true. Like the same example with Max. I remember I told you the Max, and I was making him like for every year for his birthday, I made a figurine for him. And this is your future, because he's a filmmaker now, but before he was like like a gaffer, some guy, electrician.
This is Vadim's producing partner for stop motion.
Yeah. Okay. And I started making him like a growing in the industry, first this, then cameraman, then director, then this, and it actually happened. He reached the height. And so in my the last story I have is I made a figurine myself and my girlfriend, right, Victoria. So we made it together, bride and groom. But then we separated. I left, and the figurine got lost somewhere in an apartment. Some family moves in, and they have two kids, a girl and a boy, right? So and you find this little statue figurine, and they fight over it. Oh my God, like so they break it apart. They can't share it. They break it apart. So girl gets the bride. The guy gets the groom, and of course the girl takes care of her little doll, figurine. She puts a little Barbie house, teas and everything, like beautiful life. And a kid, he just toss the guy somewhere, right? And that's how my life goes, He's
that's what happened to you? No, Vadim, really?
Yeah. No, it's not happened to me, but that's because like I went through a lot of stuff, and it's like you can imagine if you take my figurine, so he throws it, he makes a soldier out of him, right? So now I go soldiering for 7 years. I traveled the world as a professional soldier. Now he's sick with the thing. He throws him in an aquarium, fish tank. So the fish tank, he throws the guy in the fish tank. Now I'm in the water. I become a diver, you know?
Oh.
Kind of like this, you know, but the girl takes care of her little doll and she's all pampered, she's all in a good life, she lives a good life. In reality, yeah, this girl, she lives in Germany right now, she's all happy and everything's fine. Yeah, we talk once in a while, you know, but then at the end, in my story, we meet at the end, but we never met when that happened, but at the end of the story, happy ending, you know, so we meet.
It's Henry's mother? Is this Henry's mother
no,
you're
no,
talking about? Oh,
no,
somebody.
no, it was somebody I left behind when I was in Ukraine, you know, because we
Okay.
couldn't be together. So, and
I'm just nosy, Anthony. I'm gonna ask the hard questions here if you want.
That's an interesting story. That's actually why I left my country, because you know I just didn't want to be there. It was really yeah. So I left, and in that book, in that story, that's what I want to make. I want to interlace like a little mystery, little you know, with reality.
Okay.
So it's called Decompression.
Okay. Looking forward to reading it.
That's a great title.
Yeah, it's just like he's sitting in I'm sitting in a decompression chamber after a long deep dive. You know, you have to spend a couple hours in a breathing, you know, oxygen.
Oh wow!
You have nothing to do, and you just your head is just thoughts, memories come back, and you always think about something. You know, so in my idea, it's just come flashbacks. You know, like back to the point where I am right now. What led to this? You know, so kind of, you know, that's my idea.
Okay. Looking forward to reading that.
Me too.
Yeah, very much. That's pretty much all the questions I got. So,
well, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you
for having us on as a duo.
Thank you for joining me again. It's always good to talk to you, as always. And Mr. Vadim, it's finally nice to talk with you after months and months of emailing back and forth. But it was so good.
Yay!
Yeah, it was so good. But yeah, anybody that wants to check out Mr. Vadim's work will be put in the video description. And yes, and same for Miss Marlene. Check her out when you get a chance. And thank you for an awesome episode. And we will be ending this right now.